Today I'm going to talk about the major scale and how to play music by ear, or how to recognize the notes of a song by ear. A scale is the musical alphabet upon which we write songs and the music. A scale is the musical alphabet. So we have different types of scales. We have the major scale, the minor scale, the pentatonic scale, different kind of scale all over the world, and we have modes. We have the Aeolian mode, Phrygian mode, a lot of different modes and scale. Today I'm just going to be talking about the major scale. And believe you me, major scale has played a major role in music globally. The popular music is basically based on the major scale. Most of the music in the church is written based on the major scale. So that makes major scale very important. Most of the songs, 99% of the songs that you hear on the radio, they are written on the major scale. So what is a major scale? A major scale is a scale that is made up of two tetrachords. What is a tetrachord? A tetrachord is made up of two whole tones and a semitone. Two whole tones and a semitone, or if you like, two tones and a semitone, or two whole steps and a step, as you can see on the screen. So we have one half of it as a tetrachord in music, and the other half is also a tetrachord in music, and then in between we have a tone. So basically the formula for tone for a major scale is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. I repeat: whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. What is a half step or a semitone? A semitone is the smallest interval on the musical scale. It's the smallest interval on the piano between one white note and a black note. Is the smallest interval. So it is 1/12 of an octave. And it seems like as I'm talking about more and more terms. So I'm going to take my time to break them down. An octave is an interval of 8 notes. So that interval of 8 notes can be divided into 12 steps. And each of those 12 steps is a semitone, or if you like to call it a half step. So 2 half steps make up a step. Two semitones make up a whole note. So interchangeably we are using half step, semitone. Half step is equal to semitone. Whole step is equal to a tone. So that it means that invariably we have 2 semitones make up 1 tone. So the scale, major scale, is made up of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. That's the major scale. Now, how do you now use this knowledge to be able to train yourself to be able to put the notes onto a song? So the tool that we are going to be using for this is called the tonic solver. The tonic solver. So I don't know the history of the tonic solver, unfortunately, and I don't know how we came about it, but I learned it, and I know that the tonic solver, whatever key you are starting from, we have put some notes to it. So it sounds something like this: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. So the component of the major scale, the different components of the major scale, they have some kind of relationship between each other. So between do and re is a tone. Between re and mi is another tone. And then between mi and fa, we have a half step, which is a semitone. And then between fa and then sol, we have a tone. Between sol and la, we have what? We have a whole step, which is a tone. And then between la and ti, you have what? You have a whole step, or a tone. And then finally, between T and Do, you have a half step or a semitone if you like. So that's the way it is. Basically, I recommend, because I learned using a portable musical instrument. So if you have a portable musical instrument, if you have a pocket, I mean, nowadays people have piano app on their phones, but unfortunately, you know, a lot of distractions do not allow them to use it. So if you have a portable musical instrument, like maybe a recorder, as you can see on the screen, or what we call mouth organ. So if you have these musical instruments that are portable, they serve a very good use. But of course, nothing is going to fall on your laps. You have to put in practice. You have to put in the time. You have to give it your proper attention, and then it's going to be possible. So one of the ways to do it is that these are the steps I follow. First, identify the root. So what do I mean by the root? The root of your scale is the Do. Do. It could be Do. It could be Do. It could be Do. So, I mean, whatever you start from, ensure that before you start singing that song, you identify the root, or what it is called the tonic. So the first one, the Do, or the one, is the root or the tonic. Once you identify the tonic, then it is easy for you to now sing the song, because you have to sing the song with the reference to the tonic. So tonic is like your grand level. It's your grand level. It is the datum, if you like to use that term. There is the datum. So tonic is the grand level. So that tonic is what is going to guide you in what you're singing. So when you're now singing the song, basically I advise piano students to strike the chord. Like usually I advise people to start on key of C. So if you start on key of C, naturally you strike the chord of C major. So when you strike the chord of C major, that in a way tune yourself. So you tune yourself to the song. Then you now take, usually I recommend that you take a song that is not that complicated, simple, and is not too long, that you can use. Then what do you do with the song? And the first thing is you strike the chord. That chord tunes you to the song. Then you start singing the song, and you write down the lyrics of the song. You write down the words of the song, and you break down the wordings and the lyrics into syllables. You break down the lyrics into what? Into syllables. So when you break down the lyrics into syllables, it's easy for you, because in a way, a syllable is equivalent to a note. So when we sing, we try to match a syllable with a note. So when you break the words into syllables, then you are able to identify whether it is going to be Do or Re or Mi or Fa or So or La or Ti. And the beautiful thing here is that you are dealing with only 7 notes of the scale, because the other Do is just a repetition of the other one. So you are not dealing with 8 notes here. You're dealing with just 7. So this is the workflow that I find very useful. So you play, let me repeat the workflow. You first play the C major chord. You tune yourself to the song. You write down the lyrics of the song, breaking the lyrics down into syllables. And then you start by looking for then you sing the song syllable by syllable. So for example, if you are singing Silent Night, for example, silent night, holy night. So the first thing you need to do is just to play the major chord, the C major chord, for example. When you say then you know that, okay, you're going to start silent night, and then you have Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, Do, silent. So you start comparing the first sound Sa to the root Do. You know that is Sa is much higher. Then so you now go Sa, Re, Sa, Mi, Sa, Fa, Sa, So, Sa. So it is so. So it is. I know that it may take a little bit of time to do it, but I mean, this is a very sure way. And especially if you have a recorder or harmonica, which is called the mouth organ, with you, they will help you a lot, because the more you hear this, the more your brain gets used to the sounds, and it's able to differentiate between do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, the different sounds that make up, or the different notes that make up the major scale. The major scale. So this is the major scale, and how you can use it. So after that, and you just need to repeat this, and then after a couple of trials, you now start on your own to start making guessing what is going to be the tonic solfa to a particular song. Over time, you get better and better at it. So if I find a better way of doing this, I'm going to post another video. Thank you for your for listening. Please like, subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much. Peace.